This is the Carty Method Podcast.
Hey, welcome. Today is a deep one. We're diving into the secret formula to a thriving photography business. If you have a TikTok attention span, this content isn't for you. This is the most comprehensive deep dive I've ever released for free. Most photographers think that success comes down to talent, having the right gear, or just getting lucky with the right clients. But what if I told you that that's completely wrong? There's a formula, a repeatable, proven system that turns photographers into full-time professionals. It's a system that I took 30 years to crack. And once I figured that out, every single thing changed. I'm excited about today. Here's the thing. Most photographers fail not because they aren't good enough. They fail because they're missing one or more critical pieces of the puzzle. The same pieces that keep you stuck at inconsistent bookings, low-paying gigs, and constantly chasing clients instead of them coming to you. So today I'm going to break it all down. I'm going to show you the exact formula, the 6 key pillars that will make or break your photography career. There's no fluff, there's no gimmicks. It's just proven strategies that have helped me and countless other photographers build a thriving career behind the camera. Before you think, who is this guy and why should I listen? I've been a working professional photographer for 34 years. I've shot magazine covers, commercial campaigns for brands like Nike and Apple, and more high-profile celebrity portraits than I can count. But here's what really matters. I didn't just figure this out for myself. I've built an entire system to help other photographers as well go from struggling to thriving. I was just tired of struggling. So if you're tired of spinning your wheels, of second-guessing your pricing, or wondering why clients aren't booking, stick around. By the end of today's episode, you're going to know exactly what's missing and exactly how to fix it. You ready? Let's get into it. The secret formula to a thriving photography business. So, photographers have all the same questions. You have all the same questions. Everybody I talk to, these are the questions. How do I develop a unique visual style? I hear it every day. How do I build a consistent client base? Every single day I hear this. How can I create effective marketing and effective self-promotion? How do I navigate this really oversaturated photography market? How do I establish a strong online presence? And how do I price my services appropriately? And the biggest question of all, how can I make my work stand out? This is the question that I hear over and over and over and over again. So, the first most important aspect of your creative career, and I hope you're making notes today. Today is a day for notes. Number 1, the first most important aspect of your creative career is your visual style. I can't spell today. Your visual style. Your visual style is how you see the world through your camera. It's what makes your work unique, just like your signature. Just like every signature is different, your styles are all different as well. So, you want to stand out? Study the masters who came before you, okay? Legends like Joseph Karsh, Richard Avedon, Helmut Newton. These photographers made their mark with distinct, recognizable style using far less technology than we have today. They were using film, processing, printing, no Photoshop. Here's the key. While it's natural to start by imitating the photographers that you admire, your goal should be to develop a style that's uniquely yours. You have to avoid the trap of the style of the month club. That approach leads to work that looks like everybody else's, leaving nothing memorable about your work or lasting. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to innovate, not imitate. We're not trying to copy our style. Our style should be something others want to emulate. It's your visual signature that gets you hired. I have to write that down. Your visual signature. And I want you to write this down. Your visual signature is how you see with a camera. It's your visual signature that gets you hired, not just your technical skills, okay? So, to develop your style, you have to focus on self-directed projects. And self-directed projects, they make the world go round. Self-directed projects. That means when you're not getting assignments, you give them to yourself. When you're not getting assignments, you give them to yourself, okay? Personal work. These personal projects allow you to explore. They allow you to experiment, and they allow you to refine your unique vision. Personal projects help you work through technical challenges and lighting issues in a low-stake environment, which lead to some of the best work that you'll ever create. It's work that's done for the love of it. It's work that comes from the heart. Your style is what leaves clients speechless. It's your style. It's that special touch, that nuance that makes your work stand out. You need to have a clear perspective, a way that you shoot, and a set of rules that guide your process. These rules are your anchors, your hooks, just like a catchy chorus in a song. So, as I show you some of my work, I'm going to talk a little bit about my rules and see if you pick them up, okay? In the studio, I typically shoot in black, white, or gray, meaning backgrounds, but sometimes I use a color. I use front light or Rembrandt lighting, but sometimes I use backlighting. I photograph people. I shoot portraits, editorial, lifestyle, and advertising. I shoot straight on most of the time. I prefer prime lenses, although I have used a 24-70 for video. On location, I shoot in open shade, unless the light is perfect, which it rarely is. I don't shoot weddings, I don't shoot babies, I don't shoot events. Unless I'm shooting for myself. And I never ever share that work. My black and white tones are always monochromatic with no warm or cold tint. And I don't share work that doesn't fit within my style, even if it's paid work. Okay? So, a clear, concise portfolio that's filled with work that you're passionate about, it's kind of essential. It's about as important as your next breath as a photographer. So only show the work that you want to do more of, okay? Your visual signature is the most important thing in your photography. So apply it to everything that you shoot. Okay? Your visual signature should be the thing that keeps you up at night. Okay? Driving you to refine it and perfect it. A well-defined visual style can be applied to any subject, and it's what makes you memorable, and it's what makes you successful in your career. There's no excuses. So, it's the first. most important thing in your photography career is your visual style, your visual signature. You want number two? Number two. Oops, that's the wrong one. I'm so used to doing the horizontal share, I mean. Number two, the second most important aspect of your creative career, your photography career, specializing. Specializing is the second critical key point to progressing in your photography. Be a master. Be the best in class in your category. Are you interested in shooting macros? Shoot just macros for a whole year and see what your work looks like. Interested in shooting portraits? Shoot with one lens and in black and white for an entire month and see what your work looks like. People with the power to hire us, like art directors, designers, photo editors, are looking for specialists. They want the best in class to execute the ideas that they have for their pages, for their covers, for their advertisements. The jack of all trades, master of none concept in photography is long since gone. It's over. If you want to have your exclusive, one-of-a-kind car photographed, you're not hiring the guy or girl that shoots weddings, parties, portraits, fashion, horses, and cars. You're hiring a car specialist. The best photographer that you can find who specializes in shooting cars, who has a cool style, a cool visual signature, technical perfection, and great ideas. You will not be looking for a generalist. But I want to get as much work as possible. So I shoot lots of things, right? So I can get lots of work, right? Specialists get an insane amount of work. Generalists don't, though, because most generalists aren't amazing at any one thing. They're spread too thin. They haven't taken the time or put in the hours in any one area. So they might be getting lots of work from random friends, family, relatives, or people who are just taken by a take my picture kind of person. But working for actual clients, working for magazines, working for advertising agencies, it's kind of off the table because real clients are looking for a real specialist. I'm a people specialist, so I photograph people. I do have a specific style and a specific way that I photograph people. And I also have a way that I get my subjects to be super comfortable. I like to think that I'm likable, quick, and on point with my deliverables. I've been shooting people for 33 years, 34 years, almost 35 years. I just get like, it's 2025, Carty. Jesus, I've been doing this for almost 35 years. During that time, I've expanded my style. I've developed my style. I've scrapped my style. I've reinvented my style. I've reinvented myself. I've switched from film to digital, all while staying true to my core visual sensibilities. I realized early that timeless and classic went further than trendy and fashionable. I realized that classic and timeless never go out of style. So I wholeheartedly developed my look and feel to be classic and timeless because I want you to be able to look at my photographs years from now, decades from now, centuries from now, and still find them relevant. Classic and timeless never go out of style. So that's my wheelhouse. Successful photographers know that specialization is crucial. By focusing on one niche, you become a true specialist, known for your expertise in your particular field. Clients need clarity, okay? Clients need a specialist to take them to the finish line with their particular project. Specializing helps you become searchable and gets you hired at amazing rates. Specialists are in demand more, they're respected more, and most importantly, make the most money. So let me show you how specialized I am, okay? Imagine you're a magazine from New York. Let me just open my Google. Imagine you're a magazine from New York, okay? And you have a subject in Toronto that you're profiling. Now, you have no idea about any photographers in Toronto. So you turn on Google. How do you turn on Google? Click, you turn on Google. And then you go into the Google search engine and you type editorial, portraits, Toronto. Enter. And then you see sponsored, stevecarty.com. Okay. Editorial portraits, Toronto. And by the way, you can do this at home. You see me, Steve Carty, photographer. And then you click my website and you get punched in the face. Okay. I get magazine assignments like this passively almost every month. Okay. This is the power of specialization. I'm an editorial portrait photographer and I'm in Toronto. So I also use my personal work to experiment. So I create experimental work out of my personal work that has also become editorial or commercial work. Shooting portraits at all started as personal work. Secret time, I started as a fashion photographer. Okay? When I started shooting pictures, when I was 14, I didn't know what I wanted. I just shot everything. But by the time I was 17 and I saw Vogue magazine, I knew I wanted to be a fashion photographer. So I dived into fashion wholeheartedly. By the time I was 20, I had a studio. By the time I was 23, I was shooting magazine covers. So portraits was my personal work. I was doing portraits in the background. And when I showed my work to the Globe and Mail newspaper, which is the equivalent of USA Today here in Canada, when I showed my work to the Globe and Mail, he said, "Here, shoot this portrait." And I'm like, okay. And I took it and I went and I shot this portrait and I brought the print back to him and he looked, he's like, "Cool. Here, shoot this portrait." And I said, "Michael, you know I'm a fashion photographer, right?" And he's like, "Carty, any hack with a camera can shoot pretty girls on pretty locations with pretty hair and makeup, styling, cars. It takes a real photographer to shoot the rest of us. What kind of a photographer are you?" I remember that quote from memory because it affected me so much. Portraits last forever. Fashion, by its very nature, is disposable. So I knew that I had to shift my everything towards portraits. And that's what I did. So I create experimental work out of my personal work, which has also become commercial or editorial work. And I'll show you a couple of examples. Multiplicity is an idea where I photograph several pictures on top of the same frame. And I did it for personal work right here. This was probably the second time that I did multiplicity. And then I also did it right here during the same shoot. And right at that time, I was negotiating with a client and he saw some of this work that I was doing for myself. And then I did this for an ad campaign for him and his store. And I also did this as part of that set for an ad campaign for his store. This is personal work turning into commercial work directly. And then I got hired by a brand to shoot Nike women. And this is another commercial application of my personal work that turned into commercial work almost instantly. My light painting series, which I've been working on light painting work for quite a bit. I've been doing this for 15 years. Light painting, or 20 years now. Jeez. It was 2005 that I started really doing this. So this ongoing project, I've been hired by Energizer to use Energizer flashlights for my light painting and make video content about it. So personal work becomes commercial work when you do it right. So let me talk more about specializing, because I really need to beat this into your head. Specialized content. So when we create specialized content, we're training the algorithm. Okay? We're training the algorithm, and this is going to break your brain. People wonder why they don't get any attention on Instagram is because they're not training the algorithm. Okay? Specializing is not just about mastering a particular niche. It's about training the algorithm to work in your favor. Okay? In today's digital landscape, algorithms play a massive role in who sees your work. Okay? And ultimately, getting hired. Like, who sees your work, how it's distributed, and how you get hired. So algorithms play a massive role. And if you're not training the algorithm, the right people aren't even seeing your work. So how do you train the algorithm? Well, you have to be laser focused on one specific type of client at one particular stage of their journey, looking for one exact transformation. One particular person at one place on their journey, looking for one transformation. Okay? So here's how it works. When you consistently post content this is your little piece of content. This is your content, okay? When you consistently post content, and imagine we're gonna call this an editorial portrait. And imagine that's all that I share, only editorial portraits, okay? So now when I'm posting content that's editorial portraits, which means I'm speaking to one client and I'm solving one specific type of problem that they face. So what ends up happening is Instagram starts to push this out to people who like editorial portraits. They start pushing it out to people who like editorial portraits. Let's make this a little bigger. So they start pushing it out to people who like editorial portraits. We're going to do a whole new drawing here. This is your content. We'll call this specialized content, or Steve Carty. Okay. Now you push that out, that specialized content, to people who, like, we'll call it editorial portraits. So people who like your, or actually not your, they like editorial portraits. So they like that type of content, right? Because I shoot editorial portraits, and that is my specialized content. Instagram and the algorithms push it out to people who like editorial portraits. And then guess what? Those people engage. They engage, meaning they hit the like button, they leave comments, and then you respond to those comments and create engagement, more engagement. What happens after that? Somebody books you. because you've only been putting out editorial portraits. That's all you share. Somebody now books you. And then what do? You share that content. And then that share becomes that specialized content. And then people see, wow, this girl's getting work. So then they like that, they engage with that. That engagement turns into more bookings. You share those bookings, and this is training the algorithm. You're actually training. Now, what happens if you're an editorial portrait photographer and suddenly you post a picture of your baby? Or you post a picture of your vacation? Or you post a picture of that cool car that you just shot, or that bird that you like? Everything here goes out the window. And for every single thing that you post, the algorithm has this question mark, because it has no idea who to share that work to, because you're sharing just photography because you think that that's enough. When you consistently post content that speaks directly to the needs of one person, solving the specific problem that one person faces, you begin to create a digital footprint that the algorithm recognizes. You're no longer just another photographer sharing random shit. You become the go-to expert in your niche, okay? You have to obsess over solving problems for your niche. You literally have to obsess over it. You have to obsess over client problems or potential problems. That's how you win. It's not about you. And when I realized this, that it wasn't about me, it was about the value that I could bring. Oh my God. I hit, I think, $150,000, $200,000 in a year. Specializing means that you deep dive into the challenges and nuances of your chosen niche. You're not just skimming the surface. You're obsessed with solving the problems that arise within your client's specific areas. Whether it's perfecting lighting for automotive photography or capturing the raw emotions because you shoot weddings, your focus is singular, okay? The power of focused content. Content is a weapon. Content is a weapon. When you only share content for this one specific person, targeting their unique challenges and offering solutions, you train the algorithm to show you your work to others who are engaging with similar content. The algorithm picks up on the consistency and the relevance of your post, and as a result, your content gets shared with a like-minded audience. And what it creates is an engagement cycle. This is where the magic happens. Oops, wrong one. The engagement cycle, which I touched on, but I've written down beautiful notes to explain it to you. The engagement cycle. The specialized content draws in clients who are particularly at that point in their journey where they need you. Like, the algorithm is smarter than you. It's going to show your work to people right at the point when they need to see it. They engage with your content, they reach out to you, and then you start doing jobs for them, as I've said. As you gather testimonials from these clients and share the work that you did in solving their problem, you're not just sharing a portfolio piece, you're reinforcing your niche authority. This content then gets picked up by the algorithm again, shared to more potential clients, and the cycle continues. This is that thing that I just drew a line through. I wonder if I can erase the line. Watch. Let's see if I can erase just... Oops. Got it? Nope, it's not going to let me. Erase is this one. It did. One more. So this is the engagement cycle that I talked about. Yeah, it's not going to let me do it. This is the engagement cycle I talked about. Ignore that line through. Specialized content, and people who like that specialized content engage. They end up booking you. You share the testimonials, the case studies, trains the algorithm more, and the cycle goes on and on and on and on and on. And it's artful. It truly is. I learned this. I actually learned, I had to learn this. I had to learn that I actually had to post one type of work only. Specializing and training the algorithm isn't just a strategy. It's necessity. In today's oversaturated photography market, when you narrow your focus and obsessively solve the problems of one specific client type, you create a feedback loop where the algorithm works for you to bring you more of the type of clients that you want. It's not just about getting likes. It's about building a sustainable, specialized business where you're known as the expert in your field, attracting the clients that need you the most. So when you're posting content, you have to remember this. You're not just sharing a photo. You're training the algorithm. You're reinforcing your niche, and you're building a reputation that will keep clients coming back again and again. If you're wondering why Instagram's not working for you, it's probably because you're not training the algorithm and you're posting random shit that you point your camera at. So find your style, invent your style, reimagine your style, create photographic rules for yourself so you can find a way to shoot that you can make your own, and then shoot lots of photographs. Photographic style doesn't just happen. Your photographic style is born. If you want to give your work that next level look, it's time to stop looking at Instagram and start looking at magazines and then your own photographs. Are you still with me, by the way? Are you still with me? I hope you're still with me. I told you, this is a deep dive. This is the most comprehensive deep dive that I've ever given for free on YouTube. I hope you're with me. I hope you're with me. So, because I have 3 coaches, and these 3 coaches, I have business coach. His name's Michael. He worked for Calvin Klein as he was on the account side of Calvin Klein, booking Stephen Maisel and Bruce Weber. Like, he was on the client side booking photographers. Then Tim is my creative coach. Tim invented the Axe effect, like that body spray that smells like garbage that you spray on you, and girls like this, and they like break down buildings to like get to you. Tim's a creative. He invented the Axe effect. And then Gabe is the guy who put me on this. Gabe, I told him that I was coaching photographers and I was creating these like amazing 0 to hero transformations. And he said this one word and it kicked me in the stomach. He said, how? He said, how are you creating these transformations? How? I said, pardon? He said, how are you doing that? You're creating these transformations for these photographers and you're taking them from 0 to hero. How do you do that? Yeah, street. And I was like, I just like, I just spend some time with them and I look at their work and I just like, and now they're a photographer. He's like, yeah, bro, I need you to lock that down. I need you to lock that down and get back to me. So I went to the drawing board and I spent months mapping out what I'm about to share with you. And this is insane. And it actually works. It's 6 phases. The 6 phases of a thriving photography business. Okay. And I didn't know that there was 6 phases. But when I started like really diving into it, that's what I discovered. So why I built the Carty method, like why did I do this? Other than the fact that I wanted to help photographers. Like, I built this because my shit was failing. Okay? My shit was failing. My business was up and down like an elevator. So every one of these phases that I'm talking about today is a piston in your engine. Every one of these is a piston in your engine. And again, it took me 30 years to figure this out. And the funny thing is this engine, you can't build the engine until you know what type of car your engine is going into. Is it a truck? Is it a sports car? Is it a single family vehicle? Like, what type of car is your engine going into? So until you know that, you can't build this until you know what type of car. And your car is your niche. Your car is your niche. Once you know your niche, then you can build the engine that propels that niche. And this is what I'm going to teach you right now. So, 30 years to figure this out. And I've been building this, although I didn't know I was building this, I've been building this for 4 years. So it took me 30 years to figure this out. So imagine I started thinking about this seriously during COVID. So trial, error, success, failure, everything in between. Everything that you can possibly think of in between. But I've systemized it now. I've systemized how to become a photographer. I've turned it into a repeatable framework. A repeatable framework. So you don't have to waste 3 decades like I did making the same mistakes. Simple. Do what I like. Most photographers struggle because they're missing one or more of these core components that I'm about to share with you. They either have the work, but no market, or they have a great brand, but no system to get consistent clients. So what I've built is a method, the Carty method. And that method is about fixing those gaps so you can transition from struggling to thriving as a working professional photographer. Photographers are lazy. I got to tell you, I talk to a lot of them. I talk to more photographers than you do. Photographers are some of the most lazy people going. Lazy, 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 lazy. So all you need to do is not be lazy. Also, another thing, photographers' egos are fucking this big. How do I know? Because I was that person. You're the best photographer that all your friends know. Everyone's breaking their arms to pat you on the back. Like, oh my God, you're amazing. You're amazing. You're just surrounded by yes men. And I'm not a yes man. I'm going to tell you the truth. So that's why 86% of photographers fail in their first year of business. 86%. The foundation of everything I teach on YouTube, in my coaching, and inside the Carty Method Accelerator is based on these 6 phases. And every single piece of content that I make on YouTube secretly fits into one of these 6 buckets. Okay? Are you ready? Phase 1. You know what? Before we even get to phase 1, we're going to talk about phase 0. Phase 0 is called setting your stage. And truly, before I coach anybody, before I even want to get into detail with anybody, they need to do phase 0, which is called setting your stage. This sets your mind right and sets helps you understand the workload that's involved with being a professional photographer. If you can't handle this, phases 1 to 6 are absolutely useless. Absolutely useless. So phase 0 sets your stage. And even if you have a business that's been going for a year and you made $4,000 so far and you're like, ooh, I'm making money. It's like, Wow, bro, $4,000. Congratulations. Like, you need to restructure and go back to, like, it's literally like you're trying to do surgery on people and you haven't gone to medical school, but you have the tools. I bought the tools. What is my education? Come on, I'll figure it out. Cut, open, snip, throw, so, easy breezy. I watched it on ER. Easy. And you see how funny that sounds when I talk about how easy it is to just do surgery. Just buy a scalpel and just snip, throw, so. You know what I mean? But that's what people think about photography. They're like, what? Buy a camera, click, picture there. What? I'm a photographer. Yes or yes, right? So phase 0 sets your stage, okay? And again, you can, right now, I have self-paced courses, phase 0 to phase 6, but you can buy phase 0 to phase 2 right now. Phase 3, I'll drop very soon. Phase 4, 5, 6, you'll have very soon, but and they go in order. You have to do them in order. So phase 0 sets your stage, okay? Phase 1. Phase 1 is called your work and your market. Photographers do this backwards. They usually make work and then they're looking for people to peddle their shit to that no one asked them to make. You can't build a business without a market for your work, okay? So many photographers start by making pictures, but they have no idea who they're making them for. They shoot everything and anything, hoping that something will stick. That approach leads to inconsistency, lowball clients, and no direction. Put your hand up if that's you. Phase 1 is about matching your skill set and your interests and your market together. Like, if there's no market for what you're trying to do something that there's a market for. So in phase 1, we learn about who your ideal client is, understanding the industries and the people who are willing to pay for high quality photography. What problem are you solving? Photography isn't just about making beautiful pictures. It's about solving a business or personal need. Branding, marketing, storytelling. How are you positioning yourself? What makes you stand out from every other photographer in your niche? Most photographers skip this step. This is why they struggle to find work. If you get this right, your business becomes predictable and scalable. Okay? That's phase 1. Phase 2. Phase 2 is the packaging. The packaging. A talented photographer with bad packaging gets overlooked. Like, there's no other way to say it. If you do not know how to package your work, you are going to be overlooked. There's just no two ways about it. So, it doesn't matter how good you are. If your portfolio, your website, and your social media doesn't look professional, you're not getting hired. End of story. You're not getting hired. Phase 2 is about curating your best work and presenting it in a way that attracts high-value clients. Your portfolio. Your portfolio is a strategic selection of 20 or more high-impact images that align with your target market. Your website. A simple, clear, and professional site that builds trust and makes it easy for clients to book you. Your branding, everything from your logo to your bio and your personal style should communicate who you are and what you offer. Do you dress like an accountant and you're trying to make a photo, or are you not even thinking about what you're wearing? Hey, Vicky. Vicky has become a member again for 19 months. Vicky was the first photographer that I coached. First photographer that I ever coached. Where's Vicky right now? Right here in chat, hanging out with us. Appreciate you, Vicky. The packaging. So your website and your branding and you all need to be packaged perfectly. Do I look like a photographer or do I look like an accountant? I hope I look like a photographer. It's the packaging. If your work is strong but your presentation is weak, you're leaving money on the problem. You're leaving money on the table. Phase 2 fixes that problem. Okay? The packaging. Phase 3. Phase 3. The value business. Not just the business, the value business. This is where photographers get it wrong. They want to know the business of photography. Well, the business of photography is value. In phase 3, this is where you stop thinking like a freelancer and start thinking like a business owner. Most photographers struggle because they charge based on what they think clients will pay, not based on real business value. Okay? So, what's your offer? What's your offer? Do you have an offer? A clearly defined offer that solves a specific client problem? How are you pricing yourself? Do you have a pricing structure that maximizes revenue without scaring off clients? Are you trying to work for businesses or are you working for people? People are poor. People work hourly. People trade their time for money. So if I charge $5,000 a day for photos, people can't pay that, but businesses can. So, and businesses have budget to do that. And also, how are you selling? Like, how are you promoting? How are you confidently communicating your value to people? Are you overcoming objections? Are you closing deals? Phase 3 is a fucking game changer, okay? Because once you understand value-based pricing and also creating value and making offers, you'll never feel like you're too expensive again. Clients pay for results, not photographs. This phase teaches you how to sell your value. So that's phase 3. Phase 4. Phase 4. The systems. There are systems make money. How come when you go to McDonald's and order a Big Mac no cheese here in Toronto, by the way, I haven't been to McDonald's in 15 years. When you order a Big Mac here at McDonald's with no cheese, how come it tastes the same as when you're in San Diego and you order a Big Mac with no cheese? How come when you go to Starbucks and you order a half double caffeinated half laugh with a twist of lemon, with no caffeine, like how come when you order that drink here and when you order that drink where you are, because it's your favorite drink, it tastes the same? How come it's exactly the same? Systems. That's why. Systems. If you have to reinvent the wheel, every single time you book a client, you're wasting valuable time and energy. Okay? Phase 4 is about building repeatable systems for lead generation. How are you bringing in leads? I have more people who want to work with me than I can keep up with, okay? Because I have lead generation machines. I have clients on autopilot. How you attract clients consistently without relying on luck. That's lead generation, and that's what I teach you in phase 4. Client onboarding, how you turn inquiries into booked jobs without friction, and delivery of your images, following up, how you automate emails, contracts, client communications, so nothing falls through the cracks. Systems. Most photographers, chaos mode. They're in chaos mode. They're doing everything manually when they have to do it. But once you have systems, your business becomes predictable and stress-free. Systems. Systems for making money. Systems for, like, I have so many systems. Systems for when someone, like, inquires. How I check to see if they're real or fake, meaning if they have money or if they're just tire kicking. I have systems for it all. And I teach that in phase 4. Phase 5. Phase 5. Now that you have Phases 1 to 4 locked down. Now you hunt. Now it's outward reach. This is the phase where I teach you how to hunt. The biggest reason photographers struggle, and the biggest reasons that I struggled, is because of this right here. I thought I was too good to need to tell people that I existed. I'm Steve Carty, motherfucker. I'm Steve Carty. Yo, look at me. Look at my work. What do I need to reach out for? Come to me. And then crickets. Okay? The biggest struggles I've ever had is because I did not know how to hunt. I didn't know how to put myself out there. Okay? You can have an incredible portfolio, a great website, and a solid business model, but if nobody knows you exist, you will not get booked. Phase 5 is about learning how to get in front of the right people, which creates a steady flow of clients. I teach you how to make content that creates leads. Content that creates leads is organic marketing, okay? Social media, content marketing, SEO strategies. By the way, search Editorial Portraits Toronto and see if I come up first for you in Bangladesh, or for you in Northern California, or for you in Salt Lake City. See if I come up first for you. Editorial Portraits Toronto. That's SEO strategy. Cold outreach. I teach you how to pitch, how to propose a job to people, how to land meetings, how to close deals without sounding desperate. I'm never desperate. I don't need to do your job. Trust me, I don't need to do it. You need me to do your job. That's how it feels. So, networking, leveraging partnerships, collaborations, referrals, testimonials. These things build long-term relationships. If there's no marketing, there's no clients. This is what you're going to experience. No marketing equals no clients. Phase 5 ensures that never happens again. I can't say any one of them are the most important phase, but phase 5 was the phase that I paid coaches to teach me how to outward reach. And what I learned, I teach to you. So, fuck, I sucked at marketing, excuse my French. But I figured it out now. Now I'm an assassin. Now I'm an assassin at marketing, especially photography marketing, and marketing for photographers. And I get off on helping photographers get to that next level. Photographers that are shooting covers now, photographers that are doing like $8,000-$9,000 days, all because they're putting what I've taught them into action. People in my accelerator, people who hired me for one-on-one coaching. It's gorgeous. And phase 6. Phase 6 is integration and mastery. Okay? Why can't I spell integration? Oh my God. That's horrible. That's spelled wrong. Mastery. I'm off. Integration and mastery. Ignore that. We'll just call this integration and mastery. Okay? Putting it all together. Phase 6, in this final piece, this is where you connect all the phases together. This is where you connect all the phases into a fully functional, profitable business. By phase 6, you have a clear market for your work, a strong portfolio and website that's attracting the right clients, a value-based business model that commands higher rates, a systemized workflow that saves time and eliminates your chaos, a steady stream of clients from organic and outbound marketing and client outreach. And this final step is refining and optimizing every single thing in your business so it becomes sustainable long-term. This is why I call it integration and mastery. So what's working, we double down on. Okay? What's not working, We fix it or we eliminate it. That's what we do in phase 6. And how to scale. How to scale strategically. This is all the things that we talk about in phase 6. Most photographers never make it into this phase because they keep running in circles. They're fixing one thing while something else in their business is falling apart. Okay? By the way, secret time. With your engine, if one piston is stuck and it's not firing, the whole engine seizes. This is exactly the same with your business. It's exactly the same with these 6 phases. With one isn't working, you're not working. So when all 6 pistons are firing, your business becomes a well-oiled machine. One that brings in clients, generates revenue, and gives you the creative freedom that you've always wanted. It's simple. So the Carty method is built for solo photographers who want to run a solo business without burning out. It's like the one-person business model for photographers. You don't need a big team. You don't need expensive ads. You don't have to pay for ads. You don't need to shoot everything under the sun. What you need is a system that works, a clear niche, strong branding, and a way to attract clients consistently. It's not a theory. This is exactly how I built my business, and it's exactly what I teach right here on YouTube. It's what you're learning right now, and it's what I teach in depth inside my coaching programs, my accelerator. Follow my 6 phases, and you'll have a photography business that not only pays the bills, but it gives you control over your career, control over your schedule, and control over the work that you make. And again, I mentioned earlier, you can learn the Carty method with my new self-paced courses. Phases 0, 1, and 2 are available now. Phases 3 to 6 are coming incredibly soon. This is the one-person business model for creatives. And this is the church of what's happening now in the 21st century for creatives. This last section is designed to help you transition not from making money as a photographer, but to making real money as a working pro, okay? If you weren't making money before, this is gonna help you transition from not making any money to the life of a working pro. And I'm gonna give it to you in 2 sentences, okay? 2 sentences, simple, we'll write it down. The dog bit the boy. The dog bit the boy. Okay? I'm going to write this down. Two sentences, exactly the same words. All I did was I took 2 words and I put them in a different order. The dog bit the boy. The boy bit the dog. 2 sentences, same words, just 2 words in a different order. Completely different meaning. Completely different meaning. The exact same thing goes for your photography career. If you don't do the right things in the right order, you won't get the outcome that you're hoping for. The order in which you do the things that I share with you is important as doing the things that I share with you. But guess what else? You can learn theory all day long, or you can learn by doing it. I learned the business of photography by doing it. And I did wish that there was a roadmap when I started. If you want the life of a pro photographer, you have to have focus. Focus. Successful people focus on intention. Okay? They focus on intention. I'm doing this. You make the decision. Okay? People who are failing focus on distractions. Oh, what's on Netflix? Oh, what are we watching tonight? You know, like doing anything except for the one thing that they know that if they did that, that would change the reality. They focus on distractions. Successful people see failure as that thing that happened because I didn't know this. I failed so I could learn something. That failure was teaching me, so I'd learn this lesson. Successful people see failure as a preparation for a future thing that they're going to do. Okay? Successful people, they're not a victim of that thing that happened in the past. Okay? I'm not a victim of having Crohn's disease and having 2 feet of intestine removed from my belly. I'm not a victim. Not a victim, okay, of that thing that happened to me in the past. I'm a product of that thing that happened to me in the past. I'm a photographer because I have Crohn's disease. I'm extra sensitive. I notice the underdog. I pay attention. All of these things that it happened for me. It happened for me. People who are failing see failure as things that happened to them because the universe is conspiring, or people are conspiring against them. People who are failing see their failures as something that happened to them. The universe hates you. People are conspiring against you. We have to change. We definitely have to change that. So I've gone very, very deep today. Very deep. Do you want more? I can give you more. I mean, you understand that part of this whole thing and breaking into photography is you have to understand the market. And whatever type of photography you're trying to do, you got to know that audience. Breaking into a photography market starts with a clear understanding of your niche, who you're trying to speak to. Whether it's fashion, editorial portraits, sports, wedding photography, each area has unique trends, unique client expectations, unique market demands. Photographers spend too much time worrying about how to get people to hire them, instead of focusing on asking themselves when they're making photos, who would hire me to do this? This one mindset shift will change everything for you. Ask yourself when you're about to take a picture, who? Just this one word, who? Ask yourself, who? Who would hire me to do this? Okay? Who? And then when you look at the camera on the back of the screen, ask yourself, who would pay for this image? Who? That one mindset shift will change your reality. Okay? It'll change your reality. If you don't have the answer on the tip of your tongue for that, or if the market isn't big enough, the answer isn't a market that's big enough to sustain you, then you don't have a photograph worth taking. And you don't have a market for the work that you're making. So whenever you do this, just be like, oh, before I take a picture of that street, before I go out and make street photography, who is going to pay me to make street photography? Who? Pretend you're an owl. Who? And if the answer is nobody, then why are you making those photographs? Make other photographs. That means there's no market for it. There's no market for the work that you're making. Working photographers concept ideas on paper, okay? They concept ideas by looking at magazines, seeing what another photographer that has worked, and it's like, oh, that's so sick. I'm going to do something like that, but I'm going to put this spin on it. If you're not doing that, what are you doing? Like, you're trying to reinvent the wheel. You're not building on something that's already working. So, here's some actionable steps for you. Deep dive into your niche, okay? Deep dive. Invest time in studying the current trends, the popular themes, and the type of clients that engage with your chosen niche. Understand what makes your niche distinct and how you can bring a fresh perspective. Number 2, craft a diverse portfolio. Develop a portfolio that highlights your skills and versatility within that chosen niche. This is why I show location photos and studio photos and mixed light and straight. Like, I show all kinds of types of photos within my very specific niche of editorial portraits. Your portfolio should speak to your target audience and show your unique style and vision. Number 3, analyze your competitors' strategies. Examine how successful photographers in your niche market themselves, the type of content that they post, and their engagement strategies. Learn from their successes and their mistakes. We have to be developing a brand and an online presence. So many photographers avoid social media, but that's the very thing that is going to end your business. Okay? So what we're trying to do is create a unique identity, like an identity. Like, our brand is more than just a collection of images. It's the stories that you tell and the emotions that you evoke. It encapsulates your visual style, your tone of communication, and how you present your work to the world. When you have an amazing, robust online presence, it's pivotal in gaining visibility and attracting potential clients. It's a digital age. It's also about you. You have to understand how you present yourself. Are you one of those photographers that only shows work but never shows you? Are you not in your social media? How you present yourself is also important. Like, people don't hire a picture. They hire a photographer. They hire a human. And if you're not humanizing yourself by also appearing in your social media, showing yourself with camera, taking pictures, and it's like, yeah, hey, this is us. This is me now working on this. If you're not showing that, like, how do we know that you're not just stealing pictures from the internet and posting them and saying they're yours? Like, trust is how we're trying to make this thing work. We're trying to build trust, and you being present, you're the person who's collecting the money. You're the person who's going to be talking to them. You're the person who is doing the work. So you're the person who also has to be seen in your social media. If you're not seen, you are out of mind and you will never get hired. People don't hire people they've never seen. FYI, you don't hire people you've never seen. So, a little bit more actionable steps. Professional website. You know you got to have a website that showcases your portfolio, your unique brand, your identity. You have to have a website that's industry standard, user-friendly, fast, accessible on mobile. Use Pixpa. There's an offer code in the video description. You got to be effectively using social media. You can't just avoid it. You have to use social media. Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. Each one of them are different. You have to cater to their specific user bases. And LinkedIn, it is a gold mine and it is untapped territory. You should be on LinkedIn every single day. Every social media platform is different. When you post regularly, when you engage with your audience, and when you use each platform's unique features, it'll increase your reach. We're still hunter-gatherers, eh? Our websites and our social media presence are our nets and our traps. Everybody has social media accounts. Everybody has social media. We can also use social media to hunt for our potential clients and share the value that we offer via DM, reach outs. Number 3 is we're trying to engage and build community, okay? We have to actively engage with our audience by responding to comments, by sharing stories about our work, by creating content that adds value. We can be adding tips, behind the scenes content. So add more value to our work by sharing the stories around the work and by making content that adds value to the person who's reading it. This can't just be an ego stroke for you. Number 4, create a Substack. I don't know if you're on Substack, but if you're not on Substack, Substack and LinkedIn are the 2 platforms that photographers should use the most, but they use the least. Substack is a newsletter and an email program built in. This is my Substack. I've been posting every week for 108 weeks, over 2 years. This is my post from yesterday, and this goes out to over 2,000 people every single week. It is stevecarty.substack.com if you want to check out the Carty Method Substack. So, create a Substack about your journey and understand that Substack is both a newsletter and email management software. So it allows you to share your journey with a dedicated audience of people who opted in. They want that email. Post weekly updates about your experiences, about the lessons that you've learned and the progress that your photography projects are making. Since Substack is free, it also offers easy monetization options. If you're bringing value to people, they might be willing to pay you for what you're sharing. This platform can be a great tool to build a community around your work and your brand. And just to show you, like, my Substack is monetized and I have 49 paid subscribers. It makes, $2,500 a year. It's small potatoes, but every little bit helps. So number 5 is take a look at your personal style. This is a thing that I think is important for every photographer to do. Do you need a refresh of your personal style? Be honest. If you're not wearing fresh shoes, you see I have a cabinet of fresh kicks. Do you need a haircut? What's your hair looking like? If you're not wearing fresh shoes, if you don't have a fresh cut, you're not ready to present yourself to the world. If you haven't bought an outfit in years, you're not really ready to present yourself to the world, are you? You have to show yourself in social media. And you have to show yourself in social media as often as you show your work. Show yourself working. Show you grinding. Your personal style is all a part of these images. We're trying to build relationships here, so we have to be networking. Strong networks lead to new opportunities, collaborations, referrals. Building relationships within the photography community is very, very important. So here's some actionable steps. Participate in industry events, go to gallery shows, go to workshops, take photo walks with other photographers, connect with peers and potential clients, and collaborate. Okay, you have to collaborate. This isn't a solo venture. As much as it is, you have to partner with other creatives, and that creates a mutual benefit. That could mean working on visual projects together. That could mean working with a makeup artist, working with a model, working with a stylist, and you're both promoting each other's work. There is strength in a collective. And join online photography communities. Participate in forums, social media groups, online platforms where photographers are sharing their work and experiences. Join Portfolio Lab. That's a no-brainer. And in those places, offer advice where you can apply it, ask questions when they're needed, and learn from other photographers. You can join Portfolio Lab at the Carty Method. We're also trying to master the art of pitching and client interactions. How we secure paid work? Well, successful photographers know how to effectively communicate their value to potential clients. That means understanding their client needs and presenting our services as the solution. So we have to understand how to pitch, and pitching is an art, but it starts with thinking, who's your ideal client? Who would you love to work for? And shoot something for them without them asking, and then share it with them. Highlight your unique selling points and how your work can benefit this particular client. Sell the transformation. Sell the transformation, and the service of photography sells itself. And I want you to be thinking about also, like, I'm giving you a lot today, and just listen to it in your ears over and over and over again. I want you to think about your services packages. You have to think about, like, if money was no object, what would you charge? If money was no object, like, say I'm going to give you $10,000 for a day to shoot, what do I get? So think about how you can design your service packages. And then on the other side of the fence, what's the minimum amount of money that you'll pick your camera up for? What is your minimum look-through fee? So think on the other end of the scale, I will not pick up my camera for less than $500. So minimum look-through fee, and then money is no object. What do I get? Most packages are going to fall somewhere in between, but you should have in your head what your minimum look-through fee is and, like, what someone gets if they hire you for a day. And you got to be persistent, and like you got to be insanely persistent. Following up shows your interest and your professionalism. So do so in a way that's courteous and non-intrusive, but you got to follow up. You really, really, really do have to follow up. So what we're trying to do is, let me give you some actionable steps. But you understand how I'm still here after 35 years is because I've learned how to stay relevant. I've figured out how to stay relevant. And I've also developed some pretty sick techniques. The field of photography is dynamic, and there's constant advancements in style and technology. Staying updated and adaptable is essential. Your talent and skill will only help you make the work, but you need the techniques to make more money with that work. That takes a different kind of creativity, and that's true mastery. By the way, mastering photography and mastering anything is making a living at that thing. Making a living at what you love, that is mastery of photography. You can get there, but if you're not there yet, if you're not there yet, it means you haven't yet mastered being a photographer. And that's why we need to constantly be learning the techniques that the pros use. And you learn by observing pros and constantly researching. So you might not be enrolled in any continuous education. So maybe it's time to start. Attend workshops, online courses, masterclasses to keep abreast of new techniques and technologies in photography. And you're doing it right now by watching me. Experiment creatively. Like, you have to experiment. You have to regularly challenge yourself with new projects or new areas of photography that you're weak in. If you only shoot natural light because you're afraid of strobe or artificial light, lean in and get better at that. That not only improves your skills, but it keeps your work fresh and innovative, and also makes you a more well-rounded photographer. This is a thing that people never do, photographers especially, because their egos are so big. Seek feedback. Constructive criticism from peers, from mentors, or even clients can offer invaluable insights into improving your work. I do photo reviews on this channel twice a week. Portfolio Lab, I'm telling you twice, get on it. In order for me to make the Carty method better, the first time I delivered my 6 phases, I asked for feedback. I said, hey, you've now got these 50 lucky people have now gone through the Carty method. What could I do to make it better? And they told me. And then I implemented all of that. And then those people are like, oh my God, this is amazing. So I just ask, what can I do to make this better? And then they told me, and then I did that. And then, oh my God, the new people who are coming in are like, this is the coolest thing ever. Because I asked for feedback. We have to run a sustainable business. Like, this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to have like growth, financial management, money. We have to manage the financial aspects of our lives effectively in order to run a sustainable photography business. Don't keep stacks of money in your drawer. Don't do that. We have to manage the financial aspects of our lives effectively in order to run a sustainable photography business. So, your pricing strategy, you have to determine your pricing based on your skill level, market rates, and business card, and your business costs. You have to make sure your prices are competitive but sustainable, right? Like, I don't overprice, but I'm usually one of the more expensive photographers in the room based on my experience and my delivery, like what I do, what I shoot, and how I shoot. So you have to understand how to price yourself. If you're charging $50 for a shoot, is that market value? Hell no. It's way under market value. You're hurting the industry if you're not researching what the industry is charging. Maintain financial records, okay? You improve what you track. So if you're maintaining financial records, you know exactly what's working and what's not, where you're spending your money and where you're making your money. Using accounting tools for tracking expenses, invoicing, and monitoring your cash flow. This makes it so much easier to make informed financial decisions. If you would like to have some free accounting software, use Wave. Wave is an alternative to QuickBooks, Wave software. I have an accountant. My accountant uses QuickBooks. I no longer have to deal with any of that stuff. But while I was doing it on my own, I used Wave, and it was amazingly easy and super simple, and it's free. So we have to plan for future growth. And we can only plan for future growth by setting short-term and long-term financial goals. Think about investments in marketing, equipment upgrades, or expanding your service offering to make your business grow. If you're not shooting video, oh my God, I did a job that was $54,000, and it was because I shot stills and video. If it was just stills only, it would have been about like 20, 25, but because I was shooting video and stills, $57,000 for 4 days work. So plan for future growth and thinking about investing in learning how to do video, learning how to edit video. That investment pays off when you're able to offer that service to your client. And stop making useless purchases. Stop buying shit you don't need. I buy gear for two reasons, and two reasons only. Number one, it makes me money, or it saves me money. That's the only two reasons that I buy gear. I buy gear that either makes me money or saves me money. I buy stuff that will last forever, or with gear will give you 5 to 10 years of intense use. Like this C-stand back here, that C-stand, I've had that C-stand since 1994. That was my first light stand. It's an Avenger. I've had it since 1994. It's motion picture level C-stand. Still have it. So buy gear once. Like now this mic arm, which is like podcasting related, but still gear. I've had 10 mic arms, 10 before I bought this one, this Rode mic arm, 10, because I would do like, it would trail, like it just, when I move this, it stays exactly where you put it. This is an expensive mic arm. Not the most expensive, but expensive still. But because I didn't buy this mic arm first, which costs $120, $130, I bought 10 others that at various different prices, up to $80, $90 ones that still broke. Like if they were sturdy, the hinge would break. The hinge would break. Like, so stop making useless purchases. And I knew that this was the one that everybody else had. I knew like all the podcasts that I watched had this one, but I cheaped out and I ended up buying the thing 10 times. So buy stuff that'll last forever or give you 5 to 10 years of intense use. And it's rarely going to be a crop sensor beginner camera. So what we're trying to do is craft a path. We're trying to craft a path in a creative field that's incredibly hard and incredibly competitive, and there's landmines all the way along. Embarking on your photography career is both challenging and rewarding on a level that you can't even understand. Understanding your market, building your brand, networking, mastering client interactions, continuously learning, financial management, all key to success. And I might have felt today like a freaking fire hose of information, but this is the tip of the iceberg. You have to stay committed to your work, stay committed to learning, and stay committed to carving out a successful photography career. This isn't a joke. If you want to make, like, being a photographer, it's like being a rock star or an aircraft pilot or a director. It's one of those jobs that it's like, ooh, cool. But at least that's how it was back when I started. Nowadays, like, everybody and their mother seems to want to be a photographer. So it's why so many people fail and why you are not, because you're watching, learning, and trying to get to the next level. It's 2025. This is the creator economy. You have to remember that every iconic photographer started at the start. Every iconic photographer started at the start. I hope this brought you value today. If you need help with implementation, if you need help with implementation, I am definitely at your service. And this YouTube channel that I pump out free content 3 times a week, I've grown over 20,000 subscribers in a single year. And it all happened when I really just, when I systemized, like it all works together. Like when I systemized my steps, everything kind of fell into place, even what I'm doing here on this channel. I'd like to help you. I'd love to help you. And by the way, I can help you for free. I have a library of thousands of hours of free content here. But if you need more help, if you need specific help, if you need one-on-one help with me, or if you need help with one of my systems, please visit thecartymethod.com. I hope today brought you value. I'm up for a couple of questions. If anybody has any specific questions about photography, I can ask or answer a couple. For those of you who are watching me live, I'd like to say thank you for choosing to hang out with me today live. I really love these live streams, I got to tell you. It's my favorite thing to do. And although I do make extensive notes, like I just like write for like half a day before I come and do these podcasts. But I make extensive notes. Today I was unsure what I was going to talk about, you know, and I really thought that I might talk about building a website. And again, I am going to do that. I'm going to build a website with one of my accelerator members next week possibly. And also I did have somebody on last week, and I really missed connecting with you. If you're watching live, you can type Command Q to ask me a question. And also, if you're watching after the fact, you want to ask me a question in chat, I'm happy to hear and answer any question in comment, or as Mike says, you can super chat. But guys, know this, I've dedicated my life to helping photographers get to the next level. I've dedicated my life to photography. This is what I've been doing passionately since I was 17 years old. I started taking pictures when I was 14. I just messed around for 3 years and learned how to process and develop, and I really loved it. But when I was 17, my photography teacher in high school brought me a copy of Vogue, and she changed my life that day. It did. And again, this lady, this beautiful woman, her name is Catherine Yamashita. She's, I would imagine she's in her 70s right now, and she still watches me. She still sends me messages. She still follows me on Facebook. She still follows my photography. And it's because of her that I'm a photographer. And I've also taught for her. I've lectured for her, but she's like long since retired, but it's quite beautiful. Guys, it's been my pleasure to bring you value today. I do have a new video up, which is the 40 rules of professional photography, unspoken rules that no one tells you. That's a big one. That one's starting to track. I'd love if you had a look at that video today. And if you guys have no questions for me, again, I am a fire hose of information. This is a podcast that would probably do you right to watch twice. You can also go to thecartymethod.com and check out my phases, which I have released as mentioned. I've released phases 0, 1, and 2. You can get phase 0, phase 1, and phase 2, with phase 3 coming this week, phase 4 coming this week possibly, phase 5 coming soon, and phase 6 coming soon. You can find all of this at the Carty Method. Who's got a question? Someone's got a question, as you can hear. Mikey Steinmetz. Oh, SCI Svik. I can't pronounce that. Is there any use for speed lights outside of portraits or water reflection? There's no use for speed lights at all. There's no use for speed lights at all. They are toys for wedding photographers. Like, pros use studio lights. Amateurs use flashes that they put on top of the camera because there's a little slot there. So, you know what I mean? Like, speed lights are amateur hour. They run on batteries. They like, you know, one fire is at 100%. The next fire is at 20%. Like, speed lights is just, you need adapters and all this shit to attach the modifiers that regular studio lights are made for. Like, you just buy studio lights. And studio flash, I mean, speed lights are incredibly expensive unless you're buying shit ones. And if you're doing that, then like, what are you doing? You're just hacking at buying basic equipment. So speed lights, there's no point for them. They are a waste of space, I would say. Is there any use of speed lights? There are no use of speed lights. I don't use them. I have one in a drawer somewhere that I got for free from Canon when I was sponsored by them. So, and again, it's like, when does a speed light apply? If you shoot like parties, but who shoots, like, it's not what I teach here. That's taking pictures. I teach people how to make pictures. And if you're making pictures, you're not reaching for a flash as your light source. You're not reaching for a speed light as your light source, is my opinion. I hope that helps you. I'm not sure if that answered your question. SCIVIC. But yeah, I don't use speed lights for portraits. I use studio lights for portraits. It's different. Studio lights, they're different. I'll show you a couple of studio lights that I have. And again, you can go here. Why don't we just do that? Go to stevecarty.com and then just go to here, my gear list. And then this is all the gear that I shoot with, although I haven't added my 200 2.8 here yet. So this is all my camera gear, all my audio video gear, and flashes you're asking for. So down here, photography, video, lighting. I use Elinchrom self-contained heads. So this is the Elinchrom site. This is studio lights, not flashes. They're flashes, but we call them strobes because flashes are speed lights. And then I have BRXs as the rear. And then I have this newer light, which is battery powered, that I also use. And then video lights, like very different. I have video lights too. So video light system, that's my main light right here. That's lighting my desk. And then this one is the one that's behind me. I have a battery powered one that runs on batteries. So this is what, like, and a light meter, because, you know, you need a light meter when you're shooting with studio lights. Like, I do it right. I do it properly. There's no, like, you won't find a speed light here on this list of gear because they're useless. And then obviously all the rigging and all of this stuff. I mean, there's a lot of money worth of equipment that I have, and especially like on this list, and I update it as I get new stuff. But to be honest, this list isn't updated because there's things that aren't on this. There's things that aren't on this list. So I hope that answers your question. You have an Aperture 30C, but wanted to test a speed light. That's like saying, literally, I mean, an Aperture is not a Ferrari, but it's like saying, I have a Ferrari, but I just wanted to test a Honda to just see. It's like, do you have that? Learn how to use that and put your speed light in a drawer. Obviously, you weren't proud of the results because speed lights are shit. They're not lights. They're like flashes that are very basic that just make a room brighter. Like, they're not crafted, sculpted light, directional. It's just everywhere. You know what I mean? Like, so anyways, if you're wondering, oh, why like you have the Amaran and that looked good and the speed light looked bad, and like, why is it's like, it's science, my guy. That's why. It's a mono light. And again, Mike says you have an Aperture 30C. That's a continuous light, not a strobe. So you have hot lights, which this light here is a hot light, meaning it's not hot, but it means, here, let me show you. This, hello, that's not connected. There we go. So this is hot light, meaning it's an LED, continuous light, not a strobe. So this is for video, not for photography. So I'm using it for the video. That is another video light, continuous, here in the background as a head hair. I'd say hair light, but I say headlight because I have a head and not hair up here. So that is another continuous light. Now, I have studio lights that I can put in there and use the same modifier, but those aren't it. So you're comparing apples and oranges. I thought you were comparing flash and strobe. You're comparing LED to speed light. So both of them are actually the wrong thing. Both of them. One is for video, one is for people who don't know what they're doing. So both of them are, unless you're shooting video, that's what the constant continuous Amaran 300C is. But now you need a flash, one that goes like this. Flashes. Like, that's what photographers use. I hope that helps you. And Mike, thanks for clarifying that was a monolight, because I am not obviously looking in, and I'm not looking and doing, yeah. So Mike says the 8200s. I will show you. A lot of people have the AD200. I hear a lot of people shooting with this light. I mean, to me, this is a bit of a toy. The AD200, you got to step up to like the 400 or because I think once it goes to this is way more of a monolight. This is way more. And then there's the 400. Yeah, I would stop recommending the 200, Mike. This is a toy. This is too close to it being just a speed light. Like, it's literally a speed light, but just in a different housing. This is starting to get more into like studio lights and this. So, and then there's the AD600. And again, I don't shoot Godox, so I don't know these brands, but many people have this light. But there are Godox studio lights, Godox Studio Flash that you can get for $174, like right here. 107 MXV, this one. Like, if you're gonna get the 200, I would recommend this 200 watt second at $136. This over the one that you recommended, Mike. So this is why I get so frustrated when people are using flashes, because these are so inexpensive and relatively good. And if you look at on camera flash, these, if you're using this is just absolute garbology. Like, please no. Like any of these are just on camera flashes. Like, no. And if it's a Canon 600EX or something, the price of this thing is like, that's the Godox version. But this, which is what I have, was like 600. It's $300 used. And then the trigger for this is another $500. So it's completely overpriced when you buy the brand name, and like, they're shit in comparison to a $130 light. So I hope that helps. Guys, I hope today brought you value. This was a very deep dive, and I like these deep dives. I get great pleasure in telling you secret business formulas, but it's all on you. It's whether you now take what you learned today and apply it. If you need help, I'm at your service. You can find me at thecartymethod.com. You can also find me at stevecarty.com. You can book me for a free consultation at thecartymethod.com. I hope today brought you value. I am going to get ready for my accelerator members. Thank you guys so much for watching.
This live stream was brought to you by Pixpa, the best website builder for photographers and creatives, and Indie, the best way to run your freelance business, and by you, the members and subscribers of the Carty Method. Consider becoming a member for $5 a month to show your support for our content, and we'll reward you. You get members-only content every month, and Carty has the best emojis on YouTube, and you'll get that crown badge next to your name. If you're building a photography business, make sure you join Portfolio Lab. How ready are you to be a pro? Take the Carty Method Pro Photographer's Readiness Scorecard. You'll always find helpful links in the show notes. Sharing is caring. If this content has brought you value today, share it, clip it, post it to your socials. Curating and sharing helpful content makes you an expert. Even if the content you're sharing isn't yours, be a curator and share this content with your network. Find your creative and business genius with the Carty Method.